guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. So we are going to get right into our push. I know our levels are very, very comparable, but we are going to go ahead and push as far as we can. This is actually the team that I wanted to go with. There is the reworked Isabella to see exactly how much damage she is putting out. So we are running Thorin up front, Thorin being our major tank, which look at that, 25 million. Thorin be the major tank. We have our dodge tank in the bottom with Pharrell, so we can actually run him kind of as a pseudo tank. In the back, we have Oden. We have Isabella, which is just an absolute monster, combined with Oden. So essentially what I'm thinking with this formation, as we can see here, Oden is going to go ahead and displace the heroes, getting them all kind of stacked up so Thorin can tank them regardless of where he is. Silas is going to provide the support as well as the big attack buff. Remember, it's a 20% attack rating buff when it comes to overall. And look at the damage here, guys. 37 million damage there from Isabella. And then also looking at Pharrell there for the crowd control. So we have Isabella, which offers the crowd control. We have her max out with her 9 of 9 furniture plus 30 signature item. Pharrell has the crowd control aspect. Oden does the energy disintegration as well as Pharrell. So this is just a very, very dynamic team. I could see where maybe we have to swap one hero in for another, ultimately looking to probably double up some tank fights. But ultimately, it seems like this is the combination that I've wanted to run with Isabella. Looking here, 47 million damage, 21 million damage from Oden. So still doing a significant amount of damage as well as that crowd displacement. So right off the bat, we pop Brutus's shield. Again, I know the level deficiency is very, very hard to overcome here, but ultimately we wanted to see what these accounts could do and what the Graveborn faction specifically could do versus making the meta teams versus changing up a lot, is I want to see specifically what they can do. Even right there, Oden drops Belinda right on top of Istrilda, 22 million, 17 million damage there to go ahead and make it through these chapters. So I'm thinking if we're on 30-39 right now, we should probably go ahead. We'll finish out this chapter. We'll look at the next chapter. Might be difficult to get through. I'm not sure. We're going to have to check on where kind of our power is at that point. Because remember, next chapter, stage 31, we're actually going to start getting into the multi-teams. So we're going to need 2 teams, which we have enough heroes to run 2 full Graveborn teams, which again, we're going to look at in a minute. So 2/3 of the way through chapter 30 at this point, continuing with progression. And also every stage you'll see it increases and increases the battle rating of the enemy team. It increases the level of the teams. So as we do continue progression, it will get better and better as far as progression and going through campaign stages. Even now, the enemy team's almost up to level 400 at this point, which within the next chapter or 2 will be caught up essentially to where we have to be. And also with this team though, remember again, with it being faction-specific teams, the teams are going to take a little bit more power to actually progress because I don't have a lot of the specific heroes, the Celestial, the Hypogean heroes, essentially to make this really, really work with the synergy. It is just straight up using the teams themselves to be very, very successful. And I love Silas being right in the back. He heals Pharrell, he heals Thorin. Thorin is also the one that you do have to kill twice, meaning that he is very, very difficult to deal with. 19 million damage there as we continue this progression. So 30-45, dealing with some maulers here. Boom, there's the displacement. And Isabella with those orbs. The rework they have done on her is just absolutely phenomenal. 33 million damage there. Very, very burst. And with the energy disintegration she does as well, she puts out damage so fast. It is crazy. Some of the combinations I could see her working well with Arthur, working well with a lot of the crowd control aspect, the support aspect. Ultimately in here working with Silas. Very, very nice to continue the damage that she's putting out. Also, again, increasing the attack rating, which is very big as well. 18 million, 17 million there from Isabella. 30-48. So getting back to another boss stage here, which Oden gets mind controlled there from Aziz. But remember, in addition, Silas also provides that immunity. A lot of people kind of overlook that. So if you have a frontline hero or even a backline that's taking a considerable amount of damage, that immunity will give Silas time to heal up the team members, which again makes it that much stronger. And right there, Pharrell goes down in an instant, which is the big problem that we find with dodge. They cannot dodge magic. A hero like Shamira just burned Pharrell down in literally a matter of seconds with the Soul Siphon. Killed him out. There we go again. The exact same. Shamira killed out Pharrell very, very quickly. But in this one, we did swap out some heroes. We're going to look to swap out some heroes because essentially in combinations like this, we probably should swap out Pharrell to go ahead and put a tank. But again, we're overcoming this level just with the deficiency, essentially, that we have. So even though we're very, very over leveled, so we can make this work essentially just because of the level that we're on, which we are almost done with chapter 30, guys. So I'm hoping, let's swap out Silas here, and I'm thinking, let's put in Nara. We're going to drop Nara in here for a little bit. Remember, in addition on this team is Nara is going to be able to break through those shields. She also provides, again, as crazy as it is, another crowd control aspect to this team, just like we've seen with Pharrell. So now we have total, absolute, mad terrors, mad crowd control, whatever you want to call it. We have Nara with the fears. We have Isabella with the fears. We have Pharrell with the fears. We have Oden with the displacement. Thorin, again, when he comes up with that fear from the furniture bonus that he gets. So he'll actually draw players or enemies in. Plus, we have the ultimate executor there with Nara. So in my opinion, this is a crazy strong team that can perform really, really well. Doesn't really seem to need that much support overall, which is good. But ultimately, especially with being able to put Nara where she needs to be to pick up those enemies, especially the ones that do a lot of burst damage. So when you look at Belinda's, when you look at Leica, we can actually swap Nara to different locations, essentially to pick them up, making it easier for us to continue the progression, essentially. And Isabella with those power orbs, her cast speed is so solid there. Looking at damage, 42 million, which is very, very quick. She puts out a ton of damage very quick. 30-57 here. Again, Nara versus Sophia. We're going to grab Sophia out of there so she can't do the Spectral Disruption, in turn saving us a lot of damage that we would have seen. Looking at damage here, 31 million, 17 million from Oden. Again, I think one hero that a lot of people really underestimate is Oden. He is very strong with the energy disintegration and the displacement. Such a very, very key hero to a lot of formations, including the Portal Party. But there are a lot of really strong formations that he works surprisingly well. And with his buffs or his recent rework, recent adjustment to the fiends that he now gets, makes a very big difference. 30-60, so this is our last stage of chapter 30, guys. I'm going to put Nara up front. Putting her up front allowed Nara just to take Iran. So without having the 3 pulling in Isabella and Pharrell, we got Iran right out of the mix. 42 million damage there from Isabella, which completes chapter 30, guys. All right, so the Dam Cemetery, 31. Remember, 31-4 is where we are going to start needing 2 teams, essentially. So I'm thinking it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how essentially the Graveborn are going to perform with 2 teams. We seen it a while ago with the Maulers. The Maulers performed really well, but similar to the Maulers, the Graveborn doesn't have much support, where Maulers have Nemitsu. Here we have Silas, but we're going to have to decide exactly how we're going to break these heroes up to really make this work. And this one seems like it's getting to be a little bit of a struggle getting in here. There we go. All right, 31-3, dealing with some Graveborns. And again, we want to grab Sophia out of this mix. We do not want those heroes getting all buffed up, which that was only 14 seconds we won. 41 million damage there from Isabella. All right, guys, so 2 teams. So now we have more than enough Graveborn, so I think I'm going to stick with my core team that I had here. Yeah, I think this one's going to work. We'll go ahead and grab Nemitsu out of here. Which, again, I know with the level deficiency, definitely makes a difference. We got pretty much 1 versus 1 going on here. Thorin versus Brutus, and then Nara in top takes Brutus out. Very nice. So our second team, I'm thinking Isolde or Daemon. Probably a combination between the two. I think it's going to have to be tank heavy. So we're going to go tanks and warriors here. So this is what it's going to look like, guys. We could swap Shamira in here for a couple. But I think ultimately this will work pretty well. Especially with Daemon. I think he's going to be a powerhouse here. In addition, Daemon is getting the big buff there. The 20% attack rating from Silas. So let's check out the damage. Yep. 12, almost 13 million from Daemon. Silas doing 7.7, so the second highest damage dealer was our support hero, so pretty interesting there. Let's see, I think I'm going to swap another tank in here. I think I'm going to go with this one. That way we can actually use Pharrell on the other team. I'm trying to think within the Graveborn what's going to make sense. Isabella there with 5 more kills. 43 million. She did 23, 43 from Oden. So Oden doing a solid amount of damage there. 43 million. Boom, there goes all of Isabella's orbs. Looks like she died right at the end with that Void Barrage. 42 million from Isabella. Yeah, guys, her rework is absolutely crazy. Oden got picked up from Nara, but just like that, displaces her and right back to winning that stage. Very, very cool. Let's check out the damage on this one. 47 million from Isabella. Here we go, guys. Double stages again. So we're going to be back to this. We got 2 strong formations again. At the end of this, it's going to be really interesting to see because we're going to need 3 teams. So that is honestly where it's, I think it's going to be very difficult once we hit 3 teams because now we're not going to have enough Graveborn essentially to support 3 teams. We only have 11 ascended. We need to get a couple more out of there. But ultimately, I like the formation in here with Pharrell running the crowd control aspect. So back to our first team here, which again, we swapped Grez into this one. And Grez is either really strong if he has time to scale to get those minions up. Very, very hard to kill. If he doesn't have time to get the minions up, he dies super, super fast. So essentially, if he can get up his own support, if he can get up his own heals at that point, is the only way that he's going to live. If not, essentially, he's just going to die super early. Unfortunately, let's look at the damage on this one. 77 million there from Oden. Wow, that is a crazy amount of damage that this guy is putting out. So again, Oden, do not underestimate either of them. Both Oden and Isabella are just absolutely putting out a ton of damage. Which remember, when we started this, the enemy teams were at about, what, 380? Somewhere in the 370, 380 range. Going through chapter 31 at this point, the enemies are in the 400 plus range already. It's right here, 411. So again, as we continue to progress through stages, the level deficiency is going to increase further and further as we continue through this chapter and as we continue through the campaign progression overall. 45 million damage, and again, Oden. So Oden with Arthur, I think with buffing the normal attacks for him, look how fast they attack. Oden attacks super fast. Isabella attacks super fast. It is kind of crazy. 60 million damage there. Which again, our solid tank team here for team 2. Silas gives the immunity there to Isold to take out that team very, very quickly. 11 million, 17 million from Pharrell. And again, adding Pharrell on that team, I think really made a big difference because he can provide the crowd control aspect to allow Damon and Isold to scale, which is essentially exactly what they need to be successful in the campaign. So looking here, 42 million damage from Isabella. And we are just cruising right through this campaign. Boom, there's all 6 of our orbs doing a ton of damage and the ult for the kill. 32 million again there from Oden. This one we got the pull in, which it looks like Isabella got banished right off the bat. And now Oden got banished. But still a win there with our monster tank. Thorn is another one that I know a lot of people do rely on the Thorn cheese. But having to kill him twice is very, very strong because he is a solid tank. I know he doesn't have mitigation out of there, but he is a very, very, very solid tank when compared to the amount of damage he does to the hit points he possesses. His survivability is really strong. So if you want a solid tank, Thorin is definitely a good choice. Looking at the damage here again, Damon 22 million, which on this account, he is completely maxed out. But that brings us almost a quarter of the way through 31 at this time. So we are making very, very solid progression. Boom, there's the kill right there on Brutus. Very nice to see. 35, almost 36 million damage from Isabella. 31-18, dealing with a couple more maulers here, which I love Nara being in here to take out Brutus. One of the most satisfying finishing moves that there is. So 40.61, 24 million from Oden. 31-19, and we're just going to continue trucking through this campaign. Boom, got another kill there. Very nice. All right, guys, 31-20. Now the enemies are 415, so continuing to increase that level deficiency gap. We got a Satrana there, which just spent the entire time running away due to Isabella's fear. Very, very cool to see. All right, our second team here, which is the massive tank, the tank warrior team. Makes very short work, especially with Pharrell's crowd control there. 10 million, 18 million damage there from Pharrell. So very, very nice. So continuing through here, we have a ton of promo packs that keep popping up. Essentially every 20 stages of the campaign, we're getting a pop-up there for the campaign progression. With this account specifically, with all the faction accounts, we don't put anything into them. They are completely free to play as of now. To get them started in the beginning, we were buying the monthly deals, so we were actually buying the promo packs back then. But for probably about the last 6 to 8 months, we do not spend anything on these accounts. They are self-sufficient. Once we got enough to get them kind of up and running, we dropped out all of the packs that we were buying, the monthly packs that we were buying. So 71 million damage there from Oden. Again, doing an insane amount of damage. We'll swap Nara to the middle to pick up Sophia, which honestly, that is one of the biggest benefits of Nara, is being able to grab that enemy hero, especially when it comes to Sophia, when it comes to Belinda, and really dominating them on the allied side of the board, especially because remember, they get a really big energy reduction when they start attacking Nara, which again is further reduced essentially with Oden being in this combination. So it's kind of a win-win. The synergy that they have here is very strong. 42 million damage there from Oden. Team number 2, which brings out our tank team. Boom, it just spends a lot of time with those heroes being crowd controlled. 27 million damage there from Damon. Very nice. And we're almost halfway through, guys. 31-25. 31-30 will be the halfway marker for the Graveborn team. Which again, with the level deficiency, I think we can finish out this chapter, is what I'm hoping. So we can start getting into 3 teams, which I think is going to be a lot more challenging when it comes to the 3 teams. Because again, we only have 11 Ascended Graveborn, so we're going to have to rely on Celestials, Hypogeans, and Dimensionals essentially at this point. And I really haven't spent that much time building them as of right now. So 31-26 goes down. 31-27. Now we're at team level 419. So again, with every one, we are slowly increasing that power gap between our teams. Now we're there with the big finishing move. 65 million damage. And you can also see with the amount of damage as it continues to scale, the enemies are getting stronger. They're getting more hit points. It's taking more damage to actually kill them out faster and faster, allowing both Isabella and Oden to do more and more damage because there's more hit points available essentially for them to kill. 51 million damage there. Wow, 30 million plus from Oden. Boom, there's the Terrify. Wow, team just absolutely destroys them. I'm sure Damon's going to be the carry on this one. 28 million damage. Again, Pharrell allows Damon to scale. Pharrell allows Isolde to scale, which works perfectly. Oden there with his displacement, just dropping heroes on top of each other pretty much everywhere. His little portal is casted so fast. 38 million damage there from Isabella. All right, guys, so this is halfway. This is our halfway mark, and Oden died really fast on that one. This one might be close. There we go. We got Thorin, who won't die there. Ultimately, oh, there it is. We finished out Athalia. I was afraid she was going to ult. So we got that one down just with our warriors and tanks. 29, 21 million. Oden and Isabella died very, very fast on that one. There we go. Taint ability goes up on the target. It's also really good to, whatever target, essentially that Thorin puts that taint ability on, if you can grab that target with Nara, with Nara's bleed effect, you can usually kill that target out very, very quickly with that combination. So essentially here we have another team with Athalia, but look at that, Oden dodged. So Oden dodged right off the bat, which was very, very nice to increase his survivability. There goes Isabella's orbs and Nara with the finishing move. 55 million damage there. Wow. There we go. Pharrell with the Terrorize. Boom. Very easy. 17 seconds, the battle gets taken down. 24 million damage. Again, Damon doing a ton of damage with that blood shield. Isabella there with the banish. There goes all the orbs. Man, her ult just in general. So before the rework, Isabella's ultimate ability, Decimation, which is the same name that it has now, essentially didn't do much of anything. You did not want Isabella to use her Decimation ability because it would slow down. It was a very slow cast and it didn't do very much damage. Ultimately, that was why you didn't want her to ult, is the Void Barrage did a lot more damage with the ultimate ability, and also Void Barrage did more damage than the ultimate ability, as well as it was strengthened when it came to the signature item. So a lot of players would run Isabella, or Isabella's damage was really, really nerfed when it came to using her ultimate ability. So most players would not ult with her because again, the Void Barrage would do more damage. Well, now you want her to ult, and she ults very, very quickly, as you can see. And those 6 orbs she summons, that kind of like machine gun fire out of there, is what allows her to do all of that insane amount of damage very, very fast. Oden in turn was reworked. Oden was another hero most players did not use at all. He was not very effective. He did the energy disintegration, he did the displacement, but ultimately his damage was so low that it was negligible, that most players wouldn't use him because his abilities were so low. Essentially, he didn't do much damage. Then they did the rework in for Oden, and now with his Fiend, so the Fiend points he essentially gets from stealing energy allows him to increase his damage so fast. Then they rearranged his furniture to make his furniture even more powerful. So now you have Graveborns. When you look at Graveborns overall, even running down the list of heroes that are really, really strong, you have Thorin, that is probably one of the best tanks in the game, followed by Grez, who was used for pretty much everything, including the Twisted Realm. So really strong Graveborns there. You have Oden and you have Isabella, who are doing a ton of damage. Then you have the regular heroes, which have always been really, really strong. You have Nara, you have Pharrell. Again, with the crowd control aspect, really, really strong for the Graveborn. But then you look at it and you put in the combination of running Daemon, who can absolutely carry teams all by himself, or Isolde, which can do the same of carrying teams absolutely by themselves. So in the Graveborns themselves, then you throw in Silas, who not only offers immunity, does a very solid job healing based on his attack rating. Then you couple in there with him having a plus 30 signature item, giving a 20% attack boost to the entire team that's over 50% health. Again, just further carries the crazy dynamic that the Graveborn team has, and why they really do well. Torn is the exact same way. If Torn you can get to scale, if he maxes that Bone Whip out, especially with his signature item and with his furniture bonuses, he is another hero that you really can't kill because his life leech ability will go faster than the damage he takes, ultimately with the shielding ability he gains. So when you look at the overall Graveborn faction, most of the heroes in there are very, very strong. You have Kelthar that is strong, fully maxed out, but not really a huge priority. You have Baden that could definitely use a rework, and then Theowen's another hero that is very situational, which is why players don't use her. And then, of course, we have Shamira. Shamira is a hero that if they scaled her damage just a little bit, I think a ton of players would use Shamira in a lot of different scenarios. But essentially right now with the damage, because when she ults, big thing with her, which I think we just lost our first battle there. I think that was our first defeat, but we should be able to get this one. Essentially, when Shamira ults, it creates a damage over time. Well, what you'll find is as you continue on in the campaign and as your level deficiency gets bigger and bigger, that Shamira doesn't do enough damage fast enough to take out the enemies, to keep them from healing, from regenerating, from crowd controlling. Essentially, that is the problem we find with Shamira, is she needs higher damage or faster damage. That's where a hero like Belinda, who can burst teams down, will do better than the continuous damage that we find with Shamira, because Shamira's damage scaling is low enough. So here we are, guys, 31-44. So we are almost done with chapter 31. The Graveborns are just absolutely destroying it, guys. 27 million, 21 million from Pharrell. Brings us to 31-45. That is right. That is one full chapter, guys. Well, over one full chapter. I think we're on 30-20 when we started. Right there, Isabella, 5 kills really fast. 59 million damage in the first couple seconds, which is absolutely crazy. Also on these accounts, I've had a lot of trouble with the Trial of God, being able to get them completed. So even now, I still have Isabella with the eye. I do not have the mage artifacts on here. I feel if I had the mage artifacts, might be better, might be stronger. Not sure. Not sure exactly, because if we put on like the arcane artifact, I think she would probably even put out more damage than what we're seeing right now with her ultimate abilities. And there's the fear, guys. She ulted twice while we had Nomura feared. 62 million damage. I really hope they don't nerf her damage, because I could see if you can get her up and have her survive a little bit in PvP in a bunch of different aspects, she is very, very strong. Looks like here this might be a defeat as well. We lost Thorn pretty early. We lost Oden there very, very early. And Grez is another one that he, again, has to scale. If he dies early, he is pretty much over. But there we go. We got it this time. We'll just get through chasing down Tassie here. Damage overall, 32 million there from Isold, or excuse me, from Oden. And look at Silas in the back. Silas is pretty tough to deal with. I know we waited probably about 8 months for the Graveborn support, but he is a very, very solid healer. All right, a couple more stages, guys. In 31 we'll be done, and we're going to have to face 3 teams. Again, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to make up with this third team, but I know we have, I believe, Taylene built. I think the twins might be a little bit. I think Legendary, maybe Legendary Plus. But overall, we don't have that many heroes built out on this team. So it's going to be interesting to see who we're gonna have to put into this one. Wow, and Nara is just destroying everybody in the bottom. Wow, very, very cool to see. 63 million damage there from Isabella. All right, guys, so now the enemy team's up to 430. So we're at about, 80 point deficiency or 80 level deficiency at this point, which I know is still not really pushing progression, like I said earlier. But then again, with it only being Graveborn and only Graveborn specific, we're not really looking to push the campaign all the time. That is why we don't do it as often. Just because it is very specific to getting the new heroes, especially trying them out with an all Graveborn team, and also seeing a lot of the heroes that I've never seen before. Oden is a hero I wouldn't have built. Isabella is a hero I wouldn't have built, but already having them maxed out on here, absolutely cool to see their skills and abilities and really, really how well they perform. Even their Nara grabbed Savius. Went down pretty early there, which Oden with the displacement. I absolutely love Oden as well. 48 million damage. All right, 3152, guys. We got 8 more stages in this chapter. We'll be done. And there's Isold's ult. Now you can't kill him. Usually once he ults, there he goes again. Just Isold. Takes out the rest of the team pretty easy. So let's check out his damage. 42 million damage. And Isold allowed to scale. Essentially when he ults, very, very hard to kill him because he'll start regenerating. His attack rating and his haste will go faster. Then you can kill him. Essentially is the reason you can't really kill Isold once he ults. And Nara versus Nara in the top. Very nice. 55 million damage there. And again, it seems like being built like Oden does just an amazing amount of damage. And I don't have his 9 of 9 furniture yet. So even there, Oden is going to be doing quite a bit more furniture. Or excuse me, quite a bit more damage with that 9 of 9 furniture. Even there's 66 million damage from Oden. That is crazy, guys. 31-55. Boom, grabbed Pharrell in the bottom. Grabbed Shamira as well with the displacement. And look, Nara just keeps grabbing. Now he's on Rowan, and then finally on Brutus. Wow, she is just an absolute monster down there. 54 million. 31.56, guys. Boom, picked up Rowan with Nara. Isabella gets banished on that one, but that's okay. Now Oden gets banished. Chase Tassie around. There we go. Got that one down pretty quick. 59 and 48 million damage. Team numbers 2 still running with the tanks with Pharrell. And I love Silas. Silas is such a cool hero too. 40 million damage there. 25 from Pharrell brings us to 31-57, guys. Displacement, the energy disintegration, just non-stop. He just keeps picking up and dropping rows there to actually take her down. 48 million damage. 31-58. Boom, picked up Rain, which taint ability went on Rain, so very, very easy to burn her down quickly. Wow. And I love when you group them up and Oden does his that dislocation to actually do the AoE effect to drop everybody in. All right, guys, 31-59. So this next stage is going to be the 3 teams, guys. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get through this one. I'm really hoping we can. Fingers crossed that we get through this. So we're going to have to reset our teams. Here is our 3 teams, guys. 31-60. All right, I think this one we're going to stick with our team. But team number 3 is going to be the questionable team on who we're going to have to put in here. Thinking this one will probably stay with the same team we had. It's been working really well. So they're at 435 now. So about an 80 level deficiency. So I'm thinking we'll go with this group. So team 2, we're going to stick with our tanks. And team 3, because we have the Graveborn, we're going to have to drop. I'm thinking Shamira in here. But who else do we have? We can't use any of the off factions. So we got Alberto and Ainz. That'll probably be an easy cleanup there. We have Taylene built. We have the twins. Nobody else. We could do Joker or Queen. I just have to build those out a little bit. But you know what? Let's drop Shamira in here. All right, we'll give it a try. We'll see what we can do here. So first team should be pretty easy, I'm thinking, especially if we can displace Athalia, which we did. Ultimate from Nara, very nice to finish out the first stage, 31-60. All right, number 2 shouldn't be much of a problem. I'm thinking we're going to be pretty good as long as we can keep Isolde up. There's Pharrell with the ult. We got it. Not too bad. Now the final team is where I do have the little bit of a question if we can get this one done. Let's try Shamira in the bottom, which I'm hoping twins went down super early. But if we can get Ainz to ult, which there's an ult, and Shamira ulted too. Boom, there's another. We got it. We got it. We got it, guys. Boom. Chapter 31 is done. So 30 is done. 31 is done. So we will get into 32. Very cool. That's almost 2 full chapters, guys. Let's go ahead and collect up our rewards up. So we are in the Michael Sprout Glade. So this is going to be chapter 32, guys. We have 3 full teams now, which is very cool. We're going to have to gear them up, get them leveled up. We'll collect up all of our loot, but that will do it for the amazing Graveborn push, guys. Isabella, definitely worth building. It is crazy how strong she is. Even with the level deficiency, Oden and her, especially even if you put them in other teams, are going to be very, very strong, as you've seen there. Very cool to see them built. And her being completely maxed out. The fear factor, the terrorize with Pharrell and her and Oden, just an absolute monster team, guys. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.